side of the world where the sun is shining all the time, where the trees grow 100 feet tall and the flowers all have smiles, lives a man called Mr. Happy, who smiles and grins the whole day long, and is happy as happy can be right here in Happy Land. It's a happy place.
It's a happy place.
Here in Happy Land.
Here in Happy Land.
Where the sun shines so brightly all day and everything is fine. In a cottage that's quite close to the wood is Mr. Happy's home. It's the happiest place in the world when Mr. Happy's there, with a mountain to one side and a lake where happy fishes swim. Mr. Happy just chuckles and grins. He's happy all day long. It's a happy place.
It's a happy place.
Here in Happy Land.
Here in Happy Land.
Where the sun shines so brightly all day and everything is fine. It's a happy place.
It's a happy place.
Here in Happy Land.
Here in Happy Land.
Where the sun shines so brightly all day and everything is fine. It's a happy place.
It's a happy place.
Here in Happy Land.
Here in Happy Land.
Where the sun shines so brightly all day and everything is fine. It's a happy place. Here in Happy Land. Frightened of nearly everything, hiding in corners quivering. He is a big scaredy with legs made of jelly, shaking like a leaf in the wind. Frightened by just the slightest noise, hiding from even little boys. He trembles and shakes and makes out that he's brave, but then he'll jump right out of his skin. Mr. Jelly is a nervous wreck.
Nervous wreck.
Mr. Jelly is a scaredy cat.
Scaredy cat.
Mr. Jelly stammers like a little nervous jelly. Mr. Jelly is a nervous wreck.
Nervous wreck.
Mr. Jelly is a scaredy cat.
Scaredy cat.
Mr. Jelly stammers like a little nervous jelly. Nervous, he is so nervous, so very nervous of everything. Nervous, he is so nervous, the slightest noise and he's quivering. Nervous, he is so nervous, so very nervous of everything. Nervous, he is so nervous, the slightest noise and he's quivering. Frightened of nearly everything, hiding in corners quivering. He is a big scaredy with legs made of jelly, shaking like a leaf in the wind. Mr. Jelly is a nervous wreck.
Nervous wreck.
Mr. Jelly is a scaredy cat.
Scaredy cat.
Mr. Jelly stammers like a little nervous jelly. Mr. Jelly is a nervous wreck.
Nervous wreck.
Mr. Jelly is a scaredy cat.
Scaredy cat.
Mr. Jelly stammers like a little nervous jelly. Mr. Jelly is a nervous wreck.
Nervous wreck.
Mr. Jelly is a scaredy cat.
Scaredy cat.
Mr. Jelly stammers like a little nervous jelly.
Mr. Impossible. Standing on the ceiling, swimming on the floor, running upside down, sleeping in a drawer. Everything is possible for Mr. Impossible. Walking up a tree, crouching very tall, reading books backwards, roll a square ball. Everything is possible for Mr. Impossible. Counting the alphabet, spelling with numbers. How can this be? It just can't be done. Absolutely possible, said Mr. Impossible.
Skinny and thin, skinny and thin, skinny and thin like a rolling pin. Skinny and thin, skinny and thin, skinny and painfully thin. When he turned sideways onto grumble late at night. He will grumble when it's raining. He will grumble when it's bright. He will grumble when it's windy. He will grumble when it's not. He will grumble even though he doesn't mean to. Poor old Mr. Grumble never thinks that anything is ever gonna turn out right. Poor old Mr. Grumble, everything is always half wrong and it's never half right.
I hate wizards. Well, I don't like people who are constantly grumbling and moaning.
He will grumble when it's cold, he will grumble when it's warm. He will grumble and he'll mumble as he stumbles through a storm. He will grumble when it's windy and he wants to fly his kite. He will grumble in the evening cause it isn't very light. He will grumble in the morning cause it seems so very bright. He will grumble even though he doesn't mean to. Poor old Mr. Grumble never thinks that anything is ever gonna turn out right. Poor old Mr. Grumble, everything is always half wrong and it's never half right. Poor old Mr. Grumble never thinks that anything is ever gonna turn out right. Poor old Mr. Grumble, everything is always half wrong and it's never half right. Poor old Mr. Grumble never thinks that anything is ever gonna turn out right. Poor old Mr. Grumble, everything is always half wrong and it's never half right.
Mr. Clever. Mr. Clever, the cleverest person ever. Was he ever wrong? No, never. His sums were always right. Ask him to help, he might. The cleverest person ever, Mr. Clever. Mr. Clever, the cleverest person ever. Was he ever wrong? No, never. He sung the ABC not in one language, but three. The cleverest person ever, Mr. Clever.